Information I have ever had to share. Trump just signed an executive order criminalizing homelessness and directing states to institutionalize individuals with mental health disorders and substance abuse disorders. This is not a joke. The ACLU is all over this. I don't know why this isn't on every single news outlet. Share this information with absolutely everybody and anybody you can. This is truly unimaginable. The name of this executive order is Ending Crime and Disorder on American Streets. You, of course, can go to the whitehouse.gov and read the entire order. I'll briefly go over what it's about, but read the entire order. It's so specific. This is gross. The executive order directs the Justice Department to expand indefinite forced treatment for people with mental health disabilities and substance use disorder, and those living on the street who cannot care.
There are a number of new state laws that are going into effect July 1st, and two of them specifically got a lot of talk earlier this year. At a high level, the state is doing a lot of cutting regulations and shifting responsibility to local governments. Now, the two laws that got a lot of attention and people are going to feel right away are these. The first one is a statewide ban on camping on public property, which directly impacts how we deal with homelessness. Starting July 1st, it will be illegal to camp or sleep on public land like parks and sidewalks. Law enforcement has to give a warning and then offer connections to services first, but after 48 hours, somebody can be charged with a misdemeanor, which means they could have fines or even jail time. Well, supporters of this are going to say it's just about public safety, getting people access to help. But the real problem here is what the critics are going to say, which is we simply don't have enough housing, mental health services, or shelter capacity to support this approach. Unfortunately, what gets lost in all this is, again, it becomes the local government's responsibility. We're the ones working with families in crisis, and the state is not providing enough help for us to provide those resources to people in need. Plus, and I get it, when it comes to public safety, I really do, but being homeless does not automatically also make you a criminal, and I worry that this law actually does that. Now, the second big law that got a lot of attention is affecting schools, a full bell-to-bell cell phone ban. Starting this school year, students will not be allowed to use their phones at all during the school day. And I'm not talking about just in class, but during lunch and passing periods as well, it will not be allowed. Now, schools get to figure out how they're going to enforce that. Are they going to have just have them keep it in lockers? Are there going to be specific pouches? Whatever the system's going to be. The goal is really fewer distractions, better focus, and a stronger learning environment. I know parents have strong feelings about this, and I understand that both from a safety standpoint and from a simple communication tool for managing hectic family schedules. I feel this one in my house. I'm a dad to a teen and a preteen who have very busy schedules. So even in our house, we're going to be making adjustments on how we plan, how we communicate. And frankly, we're trying to use this as a teachable moment for our kids. Many of us grew up without cell phones. We survived just fine. But I know that was a different time, different cultural and general expectations, especially when we're talking about parents today. The state tends to make policies that sound good on paper, but they don't really work well for real people on the ground. So we'll have to see if this is more of those kind of policies.
You know, they just made homelessness illegal in America. Can you imagine that? It's illegal to be homeless, but not illegal to make you homeless. Criminalizing being poor when you are made poor by a criminal system. You're not allowed to not have enough money to pay for your own survival, but they're allowed to make your survival too expensive to pay for. And if you have any blotch on your credit record, why, it may as well be a criminal record. You can't rent, you can't get a job, you can't secure housing, you can't get a car, anything. And they talk about China's social credit system. Well, you invented it. They've got your social security number around your neck like an iron collar. Everybody in that country has debt collectors chasing after them like bloodhounds after an escaped convict. Well, you know, there's something called the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and that's supposed to protect you. But they don't want anyone to know about it. They want you to think that your only recourse is to go to the government for help, when it's that same government that puts you in debt, keeps you in debt, and is itself in debt. The same government that is bought and paid for by the very predatory, parasitic companies that make life too expensive in America, that make it impossible to get an education without drowning in debt for the rest of your life. The same government and the same courts that have taken all the rights and protections away from you and given them to corporations and given them to